Yeah, I started the recording. We can start.
Great. Well, good evening and welcome everybody. It's a joy to see everybody on the weekend, a rare occasion, but thanks for giving up a little piece of your Sunday. And really the purpose of tonight's call was we have such a great group of new members that we wanted to make sure that we supported folks in their integration, most importantly into the systems, because that can sometimes be the barrier to getting up and really running. So that's the purpose of tonight. And what we're doing is we're recording this call and we'll send it out to the other new members, as well as the Auschville Club, which both Ralph and Godella with our club is a part of. So they'll see this as well. But the overall aim is to, number one, talk through what are the difference between the two systems. And Sabine will set us up with that. She speaks not only to our club, but at the district level to folks. And so honored to have her expertise. And then Juliet, as you guys know, is the VP of Member Education. So behind the scenes, really putting people into the agendas and making sure that everybody is continuing on their learning journey. And so both of these two folks have been a huge support in my onboarding, and honored to, again, learn from both of you on your deep knowledge for today. So first, Sabine will go walk through kind of what the two systems are, and most specifically walk us through Pathways. And then Julia will get us into Easyspeak, where is the kind of how you register for meetings and speeches. Mm-hmm. All right. And then I thought, since we are kind of, I'll still maybe do what I thought was put our questions into the chat button. And then that way it's easy for Benedict also. But as you guys come up with questions, then what I'll do is I'll kind of act as moderator with those questions so that they can go stream of consciousness through the presentation, and then I'll lump all the questions together. Yeah. Does that seem like a fair outline, or do you guys want to just jump in with questions as they go through it?
That sounds good.
Yep, sounds good. Yes, too.
Okay. Great.
So I can start?
Great.
Yeah. The purpose of this online meeting is also to give you all the access to the different systems, or show you where you can find help. And I really want to encourage you, if you have a question, just Google it or go online, because there is lots of resources also from other Toastmasters clubs around the world. I will show you some videos that are created by other clubs, very short, helpful videos that might answer your question. So there is a lot of knowledge around. You don't have to wait until the next meeting. If you cannot find something, you can also find it online in many cases. But I will start to share my screen now to explain a little bit more about the differences between Easyspeak and Pathways. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Let's start with Easyspeak, because this is the older system and it was created and used in Europe. It was a volunteer work by, I think, two developers who had the idea we should create a system that helps the Toastmasters Club to automate, to create the agenda. So it's an old system. It was created in 2008. So it's not really up to date and fancy and modern, but it's very useful because it has been developed over the 19 years already. And yeah, the main purpose was organizing the meetings, creating the agendas, which is really helpful because you can put it in the members, you can see their progress, you print out the agenda by minute. And if you imagine we wouldn't have this, I don't know how the other clubs in the US or in other countries are doing that. It's really useful for the VP education and also for the members themselves to track their own progress. So it was created to support the VP education, the president, and the VP membership, because you also can send out emails through Easyspeak to all the members in your club, or me as area director, I can send out emails to all committee members in the clubs of my area. And this goes up to the next level also for the division director. So it's really useful, because how would you otherwise get the email addresses of all your clubs or make them available for different persons in the club? And what I would like to show you is one link that I find very useful. Maybe Juliette might come to this too. There is a section in Easyspeak. I already, I linked my link to, can you see my browser now, or do I have to switch?
No.
No.
I have to switch, yeah. Okay. I will stop this screen sharing and start again. Okay, so this is the Easyspeak system. And if you go here to the help options, you have this part, the Easyspeak video. And here you find very short videos of 5 to 6, sometimes 8 minutes. And they are sorted by role. In this section, you find all the training videos for club members. And they are all made from the Redmond Club already some years ago. But for example, here is a video how to request a speech in Easyspeak. You also have how to sign up for a meeting. It doesn't show yet because the the internet is occupied by the Zoom meeting. Therefore, it takes a little bit longer to load. But signing up for meetings is a very useful video. And if you scroll down, you find more videos just for members that might help you to get an answer to a question about Easyspeak, to check your progress. And this club that is mentioned here, King Arthur's, it's just a demo club that they created for explaining Easyspeak. So this is Easyspeak. Keep in mind, it's older than Pathways. It's for supporting creating the club agendas for the VPEs and also for the members to request their speeches. Otherwise, if we wouldn't have this, all this should be done by email, and this is much more work than we do it at the moment. So let's move back to the pathway system. I have to switch again. I have two desktops, therefore it's a little bit...
Yeah. And just to remind folks on the call too, is Easyspeak, you'll get a password from the VP of membership.
Yeah.
Versus Pathways, you'll set up your own.
Yeah.
Right? So just so you know, you'll get the Easyspeak in your welcome email, but the Pathways is what you set up yourself.
Yeah, so for Pathways, you request a new password, and then you create your own one. Yeah. So Pathways. This was created by Toastmasters International in the US, and it was started 5 years ahead of 2016, because it was long planning for this project. You have to imagine that we have 350,000 members, and to make a system that fits and can take care of all the data of all these people takes a lot of time for the planning. And in this system, most of the material that we had before in our manuals for communication and leadership is now included. Before they made the rollout, they had 2 years of a beta testing time. And I remember that Cindy was part of this beta testing to really make sure that it fits to the need of the members, that it's user-friendly before they started the rollout. So the purpose of Pathways is it's an online education system with all the material that we have for preparing our projects, our speech projects, and for advancing forward in our leadership skills. So you have different types of documents or material. You have documents, you have videos. That's what we didn't have before with the manuals. You also have the assessments. So it's much broader now. You have more variety and it's more flexible. So adding a new path like the humor path is much easier than before. And it supports members in their progress. Oh, there's a new member waiting for us. Or Benedict was dropped out, I suppose.
Yeah, he might jump in and out.
Yes, yeah. So it also supports members in their progress, and it tracks the progress at all levels, which is also helpful for the VPEs and presidents to see who is in what level in Pathways, because we need this for our DCP points. To encourage those members who have not made progress, also to motivate them, please, what do you think of when will you do your next speech? And I would like to show you also some videos for Pathways. They are on YouTube, created by District 109. I will switch to my other screen. We can send you this link in the chat. So these are tutorials, just 7, about navigating Pathways on Toastmasters, logging in, Basecamp or printed material, taking assessments, and you see they are all short videos. So if you have a question or would like more of the details of Pathways, this is the place to go on YouTube to find these videos with more information. Are there any questions concerning this?
No.
I would like to show you Pathways itself. Let me switch again my screens. Okay. If you go to the Toastmasters.org website, you will have to log in first. I am already logged in. That's why you see my name here. Then you go to this section, Pathways, and here you have different menu points. If you log into Pathways, the first thing to do is choose a path.
Sabine, may I just suggest,
yes,
could you show them how to sign in? Because
okay,
first-time members, it's difficult to find.
Okay, let's opt out. Okay, this is the first time when you go to Toastmasters.org and you find the login button here on the top. And then you have the login part. And I have my username and my password in a system. So if you only have your, if you're logging in the first time, you can enter here your email address and then go to this point, forget password. Because
it says that right below there.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you think I should have one, or you try the one that you got from the VP membership, but this is the one for Easyspeak, not for Toastmasters International. So please request a new password by entering your email address and then go on forget password. And this is like in most of the systems, you will go through an assistant you will receive an email with a link, and then you can set your new password. Okay, let's see.
So maybe just to check in, are both of you guys registered okay in that system?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Benedict, are you registered too already?
She's no longer on the call, I don't think.
Okay.
Shall we do it now, you mean?
No,
No, yeah.
please do it afterwards, because we're doing the recording and this would take too long.
Okay.
Maybe we stop the recording. If you have any questions later on, we can also go into details. Okay, when you're logged in, please go to Pathways and then go to choose a path if you are logging in for the first time. And this will lead you through an assessment. Please don't be disturbed by this price of $20. If you choose your first path, you will be you have to go to take your assessment, and it looks like an invoice, but it will be a zero invoice. So you don't have to pay for your first path. If you want to do a second path, then you have to pay the $20, but that's nothing for all the material that you get in the whole system. So I have already done or taken the assessment. That's a little bit the problem that I can't show you, but the first thing is here, select your language, which would be English, and then you go to start the system. And now you will be asked several questions. It's a really step-by-step wizard that you have to go through. You choose your points, and at the end, when you have finished, Pathways proposes 3 paths to you where they think they might fit to you. You can choose one of these paths, but if you say, no, I would like to go for the humorous path, for example, you can choose that one. You are not obliged to choose one of the 3 that are proposed to you. So I cannot go through the assessment. Can you remember how much time it took for you, Juliet or Catherine or Tracy? I think it's 20 minutes, half an hour.
20 minutes or so.
20 minutes about, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And the first one is free, and the following ones you have to pay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the first one. I haven't finished, so Benedict is back again. Once you have chosen your path, the next thing is go to Basecamp, because Basecamp is the system where you have all your material and you will see all the projects that you have to do for finishing the path. Yeah, these are new functions. That's why they are shown up. You can now see everything in your path. And you go to, no, I don't go to access my path. Yeah, that's it. So my path is effective coaching. And then you start with open the curriculum. And then it will show you your first project, the icebreaker. I'm not sure what I will see now because I've finished the first 2 paths. It will look a little bit different. So I'm still on level 1. You can see your progress, where you are, how much you have done already. And this is really a modern system because it's quite just some years, and it's also developed further. So in the last month, in September, there will be some changes concerning the access to the projects. So it will continuously be improved. If you have any requests, please put them forward so that we might transfer them to Toastmasters International if something isn't really working. So when you go to your project, you see I have done the two projects up to now, my icebreaker and evaluation and feedback. So every time you start a new one, you say launch this one, and then you will get access to the documents, the videos, and everything that you need to prepare your next speech. One important thing is please print out the feedback forms for your evaluator. When you have requested your speech, you have your date for giving your speech, print out the evaluations form and hand them to your evaluator so that she or he can use them to fill out the evaluations, and you will get them back. It's much more difficult if they are not printed out, then you have to do it in handwriting. It's much easier with the evaluation forms. I'm not sure why this doesn't show up at the moment. Maybe it takes too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there might be sometimes issues.
The bandwidth with the Zoom.
With the bandwidth with the Zoom in parallel, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Tony is coming too.
Okay.
Hi, Tony. Okay. I think that's it, mostly, concerning pathways. Please request your password, go through the assessment center, and then launch your first project, and you will see all the details, the documents that you need, and print out your evaluation form when you give your speech. Did I forget anything, Juliet?
It might be important to say that, for instance, for level 1, you have to complete 3 projects.
Yeah.
And when you're done with this, there's still one more step to take. You have to go and submit actually the completion of this level, so that I get an email and I know, oh, you've completed it, and so I can accept it in the system.
Yeah.
Then after that, I have to add this in another place on Toastmasters so that we as a club get recognition for that.
Yeah. And unless it's not approved, you cannot move forward to your next speech.
Yes,
So
exactly.
the best thing to do this is immediately after your speech to request the approval, and then you can continue with going to your next project.
And another thing is, when you launch a project, you are first asked to assess yourself.
Yeah.
This wasn't always the case, and it's a bit confusing, I think, because we have evaluations, assessments, but the first thing is actually to assess yourself in certain areas, and then to give your speech, and then you reassess yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it's somewhat confusing in the beginning.
Yeah, but you get used to it if you do it several times. Yeah. Are there any questions from your?
I see that Tony has his hand up. So Tony, just so you're aware, we're recording the call. I hope you're okay with that. But
yeah,
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was running a bit late. I often have trouble trying to find the evaluation form. Well, I've done 2 presentations now, and the last one I did, I searched and searched. I couldn't find the evaluation form to print out for my clock presentation. So actually, I used an icebreaker one which I had saved on my laptop, and just retitled it, but I couldn't find it. Could you help me there?
Yeah, I'm trying to launch my project, my next one. Unfortunately, it didn't load, or it took too long.
Sabina, you might want to try turning off your video.
Okay. Let's see if this is faster. Ah, I have to go through the assessment first. Oh, that's a little bit complicated.
Or maybe I can
Or-
just take it offline with you, Sabina.
Yes, yeah, let's do it offline.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Thank you.
Great. So do we switch now over to Juliet and walking us through
Yes.
Easyspeak?
Yeah.
So maybe just to help Tony, what we've done is there's the two systems, Pathways, the educational journey, and then that's the one you set up with your own password yourself. And then Easyspeak is the one where you'll get the the passwords from the VP of membership. And then Juliet will walk us through that one now.
Yeah. Can you share your screen, Juliet?
Ask a
Yeah,
question
Heather,
before
I
we
did-
go to
um,
Easyspeak.
Yeah.
There are 6 pathways. Every pathways has 1, 2, 3 levels of steps.
Mhm.
Do we have to complete all these 6 pathways plus the underlined other 3 levels each of pathways?
Yeah.
So in each path, there are 14 projects. And in these projects, 10 of them are mandatory and 4 are elective, which means there are options where you can choose from. But you need 14 projects on the different levels to finish your path.
Different level means, so every 6 path that we have to choose one and complete, sorry, at least 2, according to this. We have to choose 2 every pathways to complete minimum.
No, you choose one path, and the path has 6 different levels.
Right.
So, and in the different levels, in the first level, you have 3 speeches, and the second level, I think you have 4. So it's a little bit different from level to level, but you have to finish them all.
Right. So when we sign in, then we have to follow the step by step, rather than because, for example, the starting, which I think I've done it, the 3rd pathways I started with by mistake, because I didn't even know that I had to have a password for the pathways separate.
It's the password for Toastmasters.org, for the Toastmasters International website that you need.
So it sounds like you're in the systems, right?
I am, but
Now.
yes.
So your question, what I'm hearing is it's about, do we have to do it in sequence to go through the levels? Is that your question?
That was the question. But I signed in when I did my speech. I looked at later the speech and where you find what you have done so far. It's called my communicator goals page. That said I did signed in the 3rd pathways.
The third
I don't know
path.
how I did that, but that is how it looks.
That's interesting. I think that's an individual case.
Yes, I think so, but I have.
Yeah, what I would like to show you, I forgot about this, there is the FAQ page for Pathways, which is really helpful. And this has been updated in September. And for example, I wasn't sure if I can complete projects and levels in any order. So if you read the explanation here, it recommends to do it, but if you read the last sentence, should you decide that it's appropriate for you as a learner, you may complete levels and projects in order of your choice. So it seems to be possible to do it in your own order.
Okay.
So all these questions, I think, are helpful if you have more detailed questions. And they are in Pathways FAQ here. You can find them.
FAQ, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I hand over to Juliet.
Okay. I'm going to try to share my screen.
Yeah, it works.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Can I minimize this? Okay. So I want to keep it short and sweet for the Easyspeak training. Basically, I would like to tell you how you can confirm your attendance, choose a role, request a speech, change your passport if you want to, or reach out to us for contact. So the first thing is when we prepare a meeting, we send out an email asking you to confirm that you're coming and to choose a role. If I haven't assigned you a role already, then you can just click that link in the email. And if you come to Easyspeak and you usually land on this page here, you can see, this is our club, because this is for many different clubs. You can find information, about other meeting times for other clubs. But I just want to explain here, we have a menu above and we have a menu on the left side. And as in real life, there are many different roads that lead to Rome. So there's many different ways you can find to the same page. But what I want to point out now is that when you come here, mostly you're just interested in seeing the next meeting, right? So what I usually do is I go here to meetings, and you can see the calendar, the last meeting and the next meeting. This always is updated, so that our next meeting is on December 3rd, and I'm going to click here, and then I can see the agenda for that meeting. I already confirmed, so I can see that here, but if you're not yet confirmed, you can do that here, or you can decline. And the other thing is that you can take a role. Now we can see that most of the roles are already taken for the next meeting, but there's still one general evaluator. So I could choose that if I wanted to. This is actually my view as an officer. You probably see this different. So I'm going to switch here to club member view. And then you should have a button here if you log in where you can accept this role. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Because it's so silent. Okay. So that's the main thing. You can see all the information of the next meeting here. You can see who's attending on the left side here. This is the agenda itself, and so on. And this is also a place where I could, if I wanted to, request a speech. I could do that with this button here. But as I said before, there are many different ways to reach a similar or the same page. And I would like to show that to you now. So either click on here, you'll see this thing pop up. And then I can start to give the title and everything. But let me show you, there's also another way. If I go to my profile here, then there's also some tabs here. So first of all, this is my basic information and a lot of different tabs here that we won't be looking at just now. But when I go to Toastmasters, it gives me the opportunity to see a little bit more information. I can see which clubs I am a member of, just in case you're a member of 2 or more clubs. And you can also check and see which of my speech requests have been confirmed already. So for instance, I already requested a couple of speeches and they're all listed here. And I can see on this side that they have been scheduled for these dates. And if yours is empty, that's fine. Then it's time to request a speech. And this is the same button as before, request a speech. You just click on this and now you can enter information. So I'll just say, this is a test right now. You could add your speech title if you don't know what it is yet, because you don't know what you're going to speak about. You can just say TBA, which means to be announced later. And this usually is not really used, because if you want to give some information to your evaluator how to introduce you, you can do that directly later on, right in front of the speech, a couple of days before. And so on this tab now, you have to continue. And this is what's important. So here you have to pick your, choose your path, the path that you already chose on Pathways. So this is an important step for me, because else I can't sign you in, assign you a speaking slot unless I know which path you are working on. So I already added mine on here. It's right here, innovative planning. So I no longer have to choose it from this drop-down. I can just click here. And then it'll show me the levels that I still need to complete. So I have completed these 2 projects already, and I'm already scheduled for next 2. But let's just say if I wanted to go ahead and schedule, continue to schedule, I would just click here for the next project that's not yet scheduled, and then move over to the 3rd tab here and give my preferred dates. And then I have a list here of all the upcoming meetings. These are the dates. And I can see where there are some vacant slots. Now, unfortunately, there are none right now, but there will be. And so I could go here to February and choose, say, okay, this date works for me. I'll choose it as my first priority. And this I see is the club contest, so that's not a good idea to request a speech then, unless I want to compete. And for the next one, yeah, I'll maybe do that one. And I could choose, any of the dates that are suitable for me. And then I just click save up here and wait a little bit until that goes away. Now my new speech should be listed here, which it isn't, because I have to refresh the page. You can either click around, come back to this page, and then you'll see here on the top, that's the one I just requested, the test. And when you do this, then I can see it in the system, and then I can assign you the speaking slot. But as I said, it's important to know your pathways. So that's that. And if I made a mistake, or if I just want to change everything, I can just go here and delete it. Because it was only a request, I can set that up anytime again. And I have to refresh the page in order to see it gone. So I hope that's not too confusing here with my stuff, but that's the way you can do it. And is there any question about requesting a speech?
No,
And then,
Better.
that's clear.
and maybe just to show them the thing on the left side, actually that's how I navigate in.
This on this side?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's like the easy access, sign up for meetings and request a speech.
Exactly. You have here direct links, quick links to do the same thing. Exactly.
And there's one thing about, if there are already 5 speeches, you can still ask for another speech, because it's the decision of Juliet to assign the speeches. And we discussed that especially for the new ones, they should be given the opportunity to have their speeches too. And we also have dropouts, short-term dropouts. So we will try to have always 5 speakers, and please don't pay too much attention if there are 5 speeches. Request the 6th one, and Juliet will find a way how to.
Exactly. So here you can see that it says the meeting is full, but you can still request, or you can send me a direct email asking to be a reserve speaker. Mm-hmm. But you can still go ahead and request it here.
And just so that you know, as a club, like, we're trying to make sure that we also do a balance of new member speakers and kind of more long-standing members. So note that you will be given, not to say overall priority, but we will note the new members who are starting to give speeches and make sure that they get appropriately in.
Exactly. And you might have noticed that, you know, we have the club contest, so we won't be able to take icebreakers then. But, and in March, there's one meeting missing also because of Fasnacht, but we are trying to fit another meeting in for icebreakers only. So you will have more opportunities to speak. And last but not least, I wanted to show you how you can change your password if you would want to. Some people forget it easily. So if you go here to profile, I think it's right here on the first tab. Yeah, exactly. You can reset your password. And even more important than that, if you want to contact me or anyone else from the club, you can just go to user list. I'm sure there's another way to get there. And you have the whole list of people from our club, and just use any of these buttons back here, email or private message. Okay, so those are the basics. And again, the videos, the help videos that Sabine was talking about can be found under help options. So that's always good to have a look at those as well. All right, any questions?
No, that was great. Thanks.
No, thank you. I have to go through myself again.
Okay, so and please don't hesitate to reach out if there should be any trouble, because we'd really like to support you with onboarding. We think it's important that you get into the system quickly, even if you don't request a speech right away, but that you familiarize yourself with them, with the Easyspeak.
Please do this early, not only when you think, oh yes, now I can give my icebreaker. Start before that.
Exactly. It says here on the first page, under home, if I can get there.
Yeah, it takes some time.
And like personally, what I try to do is I think, okay, a speech a quarter. So I try to go in there quarterly and do my attendances and at least put in one speech. And I have no clue what it's going to be on,
Yes.
but it gives me that deadline to really start working on it.
Exactly. We put it here really big. Schedule first, prepare later, and deliver on time.
Yeah. So please go forward with your speeches. It's good for you to make faster progress, and it's good for us because we get DCP points.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe do we conclude the call then?
Yes, if there are no further questions.
I have a little information for Sabine for the.
Can we do this after I've stopped?
Do you want to stop the recording? Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you so much for doing that. That was really helpful. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Right. Have a good week.
You too.
So,
Thank you. Thank you. And then Sabine will cut the recording off and then.
yes, I stopped the recording.